welcome back to GlassCast and WindowCast, the official podcast of the National Glass Association and its publications Glass Magazine and Window and Door Magazine. I'm Katie Devlin, the content director at the NGA. I'm so delighted to be joined this morning by my friend, Max Perilstein, from The Fabricator, huge person in the industry, an icon, but also a real supporter of the industry and of the NGA. But before we get started on our chat, I just want to give a big shout out to our GlassBuild podcast studio sponsors. We're recording here today at the GlassBuild 2024 floor in Dallas in an enclosure with the materials, beautiful decorative glass and curtain wall system from Old Castle Building Envelope. And also we have special studio sponsors, North American Specialty Laminators, Schott, and Becca. So thanks to all you guys. So Max, I'm so glad to have you on our podcast. How the tables have turned.
Yeah, I'm honored. This is great. The studio is great. I definitely have to pass kudos to Old Castle Building Envelope. Beautiful studio, beautiful setup. Did a great job, and I love being here. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, it's great to have you behind the mic here. So I think you are maybe one of the most well-known folks in the North American glass and glazing business, but I would like to have you introduce yourself. How would you describe yourself, kind of your history in the industry?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm an industry guy. So I've been in the industry since 1991, but my family's been in the glass and glazing industry since 1898.
That's amazing.
So it's kind of in the blood. And I didn't really want to do this growing up, but it happened that I ended up in it and never looked back. Love this industry, love the people. And so 1991 started off in the office and working my way through different office positions and marketing and communications and so on. And in 2011 started my own business, Sole Source Consultants, where my biggest client is the NGA, National Glass Association. So I'm honored to work on all these great things with Glass Magazine and Window and Door Magazine and the BEC conference and of course GlassBuild. So I feel like I'm as many places I can possibly be, and I love working with all of you guys. It's an honor for me.
Well, likewise. And, I just a little glimpse behind the scenes, but Max is, he and I work very closely together on just kind of brainstorming what the industry is thinking about. Max talks to so many folks. I, of course, talk to a lot of folks as well, but you have a different perspective just having this sort of in your blood. And it's been so helpful as we, figure out what programming we want to do for the BEC or for the main stage, things we'd like to even focus on in these podcast interviews.
Sure. And part of it is just trying to figure out what will really bring value to our audience and our industry. And, and some of these things that we've come up with in the past have hit and some have not, but we keep trying because we want to bring the best we can to the industry, make the industry better.
Yeah.
And the more we can do that, the better we all are in the long run.
So you've been walking around the floor for a couple of days. We're recording this on day 3 of the show, right before open. Tell me, what are some of the most exciting things you've seen on the floor?
I think the biggest for me is that people are really focused on, I think, the number one problem, which is labor, and so you see so many different avenues to help solve that problem. The problem's not completely solvable, we know that, but helping companies, do more with less, be more efficient. And so I see it at so many of these locations, whether it's a software or hardware, or a piece of machinery, a manipulator, whatever the case may be. It's amazing that people realize now that we have to do more to protect the labor that we have and also attract. And so that's, we've had the students on the floor here at GlassBuild, had more than 50 high school students who are interested in trades. And so we need to do things that are welcoming to that crew, but also the established labor, give them the best tools possible to stay safe, stay healthy, be more efficient, because there's not a line of people wanting to go jump into a glazing operation. We need to create that. And until we do, we need to give them the best of the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm seeing that here on the floor.
I love that you brought up the student group. That was really exciting. Yesterday at the show, we had this field trip of students from a local STEM school. My 14-year-old nephew, he actually joined us as well, coming all the way. He came all the way from Massachusetts. He's
Wow.
interested in potentially exploring the construction field. So it was amazing to have all these young people looking around and just learning that our industry exists, that there are jobs in all of these pieces, all of these segments of glass and fenestration. And yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
and I have to say, I was surprised because maybe I was jaded because I've been to AIA shows. And when you go to an AIA show, an architect show, it gets run through. When the students come through, the people in the booths are like, oh, please don't come in and see me. I don't want to see you. And so I was afraid that maybe when we brought these high school students in, we would run into that with some of our exhibitors. And it was completely the opposite. They were, well, come on in, let me show you what we do, and having them, play, work with a railing, work with different materials, and show them the software, and show them how things come together, and teach them about curtain wall. It was awesome, and they loved it, and it was relieving, and it was exciting, and I'm like, hey, we've got something here. If it gets into their head now, maybe they're a part of our future. So
Yes.
it was exciting.
We also have the AGMT Glazer certification that's happening on the show floor, which is a really neat thing in and of itself. But the students also were able to visit over there. I went over there with my nephew one of the days, and he just immediately we walked in, and one of the folks who's an experienced glazer who's helped running the program, he just took him under his wing, and my nephew was, in there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just actually seeing this firsthand.
Love it.
If you can see it, you can be it. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's really exciting.
Kudos to him and to you to get him here. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's been a lot of fun. So, let's talk about people.
Yep.
You are. You can't walk 5 feet on this floor without being stopped by somebody. But can you tell me about some of your more memorable interactions from this trip?
Oh, there's been a bunch. It is funny because I don't think my family, realized that how many people I may know in this industry. And so when my daughter came last year, I think she was a little thrown that I over my years, I joke also, I'm old. I've been in the industry 30 plus years. I know a lot of people. And so it was kind of cool to show her that last year. This year, it's just been neat to catch up with people I haven't seen in a while, and also see some of the people that are, betting on themselves to do things. And, one of the cool things yesterday was Jason Isaacson started a company called Sentinel Facades, and he dressed his folks up in hockey jerseys. And he presented me on behalf of GlassBuild a custom GlassBuild hockey jersey. I thought that was really cool, really neat interaction. Country Glass dressing all their people up in shirts. They closed for the day, and then they dressed everybody up in matching T-shirts that said, "We're all in on GlassBuild." I thought that was really cool. And then just seeing some of the brains of our industry, that's the fun and exciting thing. People that do such great work in our world, to run into them and talk to them. List is long. My blog will have them all listed if you miss it. I run into a ton of people, but the things that stick out are the people that really take the time, like Country Glass, to close their doors and bring all their folks over here. That's awesome. I'd love to see that in every city we're in. That would be great.
Oh, that's amazing. So we're going to close out with with 2 questions, kind of forward-looking questions. I'll start with the one that might be a downer. What are you worried about with looking at the industry, what's to come?
We mentioned labor earlier, but definitely worried about where the actual market is. It's no secret that the monumental market, the skyscraper market, is struggling very, very badly. That's a combination of not only current economic issues like the rates and so on, but it's the work from home thing. It's a leftover of COVID. You're not seeing buildings like that on the books. You're not seeing buildings like that in the future in the pipelines. You go to some cities outside of your fluky cities like Nashville, you're not seeing the tower cranes like you should and you need to. So that's a big segment of our industry. A lot of players that focus on that in a lot of different ways. And that will have a trickle-down effect. If they are not successful or if they have to change focus, it does cause a lot of turmoil in our industry. So my big fear right now is that monumental market is struggling. The economy is a little uneven and possibly getting worse. And so the big worry now is, are people going to diversify quick enough to keep things rolling through what we are expecting a little bit more of a softer patch?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was echoed with the economic forecast from Connor Lokar, day one here at Main Stage, and then also up at Glazing Executives Forum. Yeah, it will be interesting, what 2025 looks like in particular.
No doubt.
So then the flip side of the coin,
Yeah.
what gets you out of bed in the morning? What keeps you excited and,
Well, it'll always be the people in this industry that get me going, because I love that. But I do love the fact that technology, I love that, things like Bird Friendly, you now have so many different options, and great companies have gotten into it and giving everybody an opportunity. It's a great product for us. I love the interior systems, because Division 10 has been an area, in the CSI divisions or the Master Spec divisions, those interior divisions have always been kind of hands off for the glass community. It's being done by the furniture folks or other folks. Well, now we've gotten into it. More and more people are getting into it. And so in those opportunities that come up, that should be our work. And so that gets me excited when I see, what Clover Architectural is doing to get into that work, and the other people are getting into that work. I love us diversifying, and we need to do that. So little things like that, get me going. Then product development, the advancing of what we're trying to do as an industry, and then obviously the energy side of things. VIG, we've been talking about it, and it's getting closer and closer and closer to finally getting up over that hump. And once that facility, more facilities get built in the U.S., we've got one, there's others on the books. They're going to have to be able to get the pricing where it needs to be, and then all of a sudden we've got a whole new segment, that super high energy VIG product. It's going to be awesome. That gets me going.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. That was supposed to be probably a 20-second answer, and I gave you 3 minutes. So
no, it shows you're excited, and I think we all should be. This is a great industry to be in, and I'm so delighted to be able to be in it with you and be trying to make change and inspire folks.
Been doing it a long time. Congratulations on 20 years at NGA. And you've been to now. This is probably 19 glass builds, because we missed 2020.
Yep.
So you've seen it all. It's exciting.
I'm looking forward to what we'll see next. So thank you for being here, Max.
Thank you.
Let's do it again.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of GlassCast and WindowCast. One more time, I want to thank our sponsors of this GlassBuild podcast studio. We have Oldcastle Building Envelope that supplied the decorative glass and glazing system. North American Specialty Laminators, Schott and Becca, who sponsored the podcast studio. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.